Agency in Motion Continuing Education Series. This is a series that's designed specifically for like agents, producers, and agency builders, as well as advisors in the financial services industry. And today, our topic of conversation, the center for today's episode, is using LinkedIn for your business. If you're not using LinkedIn for your business, you're missing out on a great asset for your business. And if you're not using LinkedIn correctly for your business, once again, you're missing out on a great asset for your business. So how do we use LinkedIn effectively? How do we separate ourselves from the other people who are using it incorrectly? And how do we build that asset that's going to give us a return in terms of what we're looking for? And we're going to go through some of this today to help you understand why LinkedIn is so powerful, why now is the time to be on LinkedIn, and why you have a limited time for a lot of organic reach, which a lot of the other social media platforms like Facebook, they really no longer have that. Remember, as an agent or advisor, producer, whatever it is that you're going to label yourself as, when we're using social media, we're using social media to build, engage, and sell. And when we sell, our sell point on the front end is really calendar appointments. We're trying to get booked appointments on our calendar so that we can get in front of our persona and educate them into buying decisions. So once again, social media is designed to let us build, engage, and sell. And once again, the sell from our side is booked appointments on our calendar. Once you have booked appointments on your calendar, you've got to have an automated follow-up strategy. Same thing with LinkedIn. If you're starting the conversation on LinkedIn and you just let it die there, well, you're missing out on a great potential for your business. So what you need to understand is, just like what you do day to day for your business with an automated follow-up strategy, you need to incorporate one of those for LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a great platform to open conversations, direct conversations, and continue conversations into next action steps. So once again, automate what you can, and then that way it'll free up your time to do what you need to do. Whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, any other social media site, basically what you're doing is you're building your brand, you're getting exposure, you're being seen, you're being heard. And really, for these two platforms, but especially for the concentration on LinkedIn today, it's about always building our audience. So you need to constantly be connecting, not just with random people in your persona that you want to connect with, that can provide value to you, or that's in your persona that you're looking for to do business with. So connect. And then, engage, communicate with these people. Intro messages, follow-up messages, make sure you're making posts in LinkedIn, and make sure that you're having some interaction, including some notifications. The more that you do for other people, the more they'll start to do for you. Remember, it's not just about you. You show interest in other people to build interest in what you're doing. And then finally, the groups down here. LinkedIn groups are not as active as they used to be, but that has both pros and cons. One of the pros is, as you're going into these groups and as you're posting these groups, they're going to stay posted if there's not a lot of activity towards the top of the group for a long period of time. So groups, if used correctly and effectively, they do definitely still have value. So we talked about build, engage, sell. Here, really what we're talking about is connecting, engaging, and messaging. So once we're connecting with the person, they've accepted our connection, we're going to start to engage with them by messaging them. Hey, thanks for the connection. I look forward to getting to know you. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Not just going for the jugular on that first message. Hey, let me sell you something. Let me recruit you, or do anything like that. Open and build the conversation. So connect, build that audience, engage with the audience by messaging them. And then at the right time, sell to the appropriate people, whether you're doing one-on-ones, webinars, whatever it is that you're doing, the appropriate time, interject that into the conversation. So why is LinkedIn so powerful? And why do we use it so much for, our business? Because that's where you should be. Which of the following social media channels generates the leads for you? Look at this, almost 60% come in with LinkedIn. So if it's producing leads, if it's worth putting time, energy, and resources into it, you should definitely do it. And the data backs that up. And just like on this side over here, LinkedIn best social network for lead generation. If you look at visit to lead conversion rate, LinkedIn is really killing these other two like Facebook and Twitter. So understand that if you put time, energy, resource into LinkedIn, you will get a return off of it. But just like anything else that we talk about, it's going to take a little time. You're not going to go from, zero to a master of this network in a week or two. Also, LinkedIn drives more traffic to, blogs, sites, other areas outside of LinkedIn. 90% of the social traffic was driven by the three networks, with over half of it coming from LinkedIn. So look at their piece of the pie right there. It's huge. And then when you look at the number of conversions per social platform, LinkedIn at 80%. These are solid numbers, guys, that you can get behind. And once you understand that it's working for other people, you just need to realize and kind of digest a business plan on LinkedIn that's going to work for you. You need to make sure that it's not always about you. We say this over and over and over again on social media platforms. In LinkedIn, make sure you're taking the time to congratulate your network as they have new jobs, as they have job anniversaries. Build the relationship, open more conversation. Like I said, build interest in what you're doing by first showing interest in other people and what they're doing. The message series, you can do it manually, you can automate it. Some people use Helper and they have a campaign level now where you can just get all of this set and it'll do it for you. LinkedIn doesn't like the automation, so you need to stay under their radar and not make sure that it's too evident that you're using automation. But this can help you get out those initial messages so that you don't fall behind, because what happens is, these small tasks, if we don't do it over a number of days or a number of weeks, it becomes a huge task and becomes overwhelming. By having this stuff done constantly and consistently, it does what it needs to do, which is building the relationships, engaging, messaging, doing what we just explained is necessary on a platform like this to be successful. So what you need to understand is that your posts, you don't have to post a lot on LinkedIn. It should be relevant. It should be meaningful. It should, have some value for your LinkedIn network. But you need to understand that there's 9 billion content impressions on LinkedIn feed weekly, and there's only 3 million users who share content weekly. Look at that, guys. That is a huge opportunity for you. So if you don't like posts, don't know what to post, we'll talk a little bit about that, but you need to get in the habit of understanding there's lots of eyes, much less content. That is a huge opportunity if you're willing to put in a little time to create posts that, provide education, entertainment, some type of value to your core network and persona. So what do you really need to be successful on LinkedIn? A lot of people think that on social media platforms, you need millions and millions and millions of followers. It's not true. What you really need is the content. If you create content that people like, then you will gain the followers. So don't think if you're starting LinkedIn, don't have that many connections or followers, it's not a big deal. What you want to concentrate on is being relevant on the platform, posting things, and building your audience. Content will lead the followers to your profile. And if your profile is done correctly, you'll build that audience pretty quickly. They say if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a video has to be worth at least 1.8 million words. So what you need to understand is, as a lot of this IP traffic on the internet goes to video, you need to be up on the time. So if you're posting content, understanding video content is very valuable, and a lot of the internet traffic these days is video content. So if you're struggling, if you sit down there and you're looking at your LinkedIn profile and you have no idea what to post, do a little bit. Not in that moment, but during some of the off times. Remember, entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. So when you're not having, the meat of the day or the active part of the day, do some research, killer content ideas to post on social media, video content ideas to post on LinkedIn, content that gets engagement on social media. Do a little research, put some time, energy, resources behind the preparation. And then when you go to execute, you'll have stuff that actually sticks. And for reasons that we talked about before, and we'll talk about in a minute, if you've got something that's people are looking at, people are engaging, it'll stay on the platform for a long period of time. LinkedIn knows the more visibility they give their marketers, remember, because there's, far less people producing and promoting and content on the site versus the eyes. So we just talked about that. So with that in consideration, LinkedIn knows the more visibility they give the marketers, the more they're going to use LinkedIn, which promotes LinkedIn as a platform. So they want to do. Once they reach that scale, they will decrease that organic visibility to sell more ad space. Facebook's already gone through this, and that's why on Facebook most of the time you got to pay to get the eyes. LinkedIn is not quite there yet, so this is not going to last forever. Take advantage. When they do reach scale, organic visibility will be decreased. You have to pay for those same eyes. So take advantage of the limited time you have now and get your organic reach built. Content, like we just talked about, can stay on feeds for days or weeks. Any person in your network comments on your post that will show in their feeds, given the content, the true viral effect by pushing it out. So good content will stay on there for weeks and weeks, sometimes even months. If you ever notice on LinkedIn, sometimes you log into your profile and you'll see something that you saw a couple months ago. It's still on the feed. It's because it's getting reactions, engagements, and eyes. Posts can still be circulating weeks later, and that's valuable. If you look at a platform like Twitter, it's like the stock market ticker. Things are there, it's gone, it's constantly posting information. Here, it's not about how many times you post, it's about what you're posting and the value of what you're posting to your network. So this is the algorithm, and you can tell when you have content creation, it goes to a content quality scoring, and then from that, it's triggers. The content good? Is it not good? Basically, this is the algorithm that LinkedIn uses. Basically, what you want to know and understand from this algorithm is just a very, very basic breakdown. You need two things. You need your content to stay in-house for LinkedIn. We'll talk about what that means. And then on the opposite side, or in combination with that, you need velocity. So you need your content to stay within the LinkedIn social media site, and then your content and your post, the velocity of engagements and reactions will help it. And that's really the combination. In-house plus velocity of the algorithm will get you more and more and more views. So inside or outside, what we're talking about basically is, do they have to stay, or can they stay within the LinkedIn platform to get all the information from your post, or do they have to go outside? Most all the time, you want to produce and post content that the person will be able to stay from the start to the finish of your content on LinkedIn. LinkedIn will reward you for doing that. And then on the opposite side, the velocity, quick engagements, likes, comments, shares, reactions, combination of in-house plus the quick engagement or velocity of the engagement will really do wonders for your post. It's all about traction. So remember, once you get traction, it can stay there for weeks or possibly even months. So let's get back to the basics on LinkedIn. What do you really need to know to be successful on this platform? Well, first of all, make your profile visible to the public. Don't be a secret agent. You want to be known, you want to be seen, you want to be heard. Make sure that you're not handicapping yourself in terms of your visibility by not having your profile visible to your network. Also, you're not looking for a job. This isn't a resume type deal. You want to turn your profile into sales and marketing machine. Delete all that resume type information. Remember, this is an asset for your business. Treat it and build it accordingly to make sure that when people go there, it has all the information they need to get additional products, services, information, whatever it is that you're trying to take them to the next action step on your profile. The most valuable real estate is your banner. So create a powerful headline that tells your prospects, hey, what's in it for me to connect with you? How are you going to help your prospect move away from their pain or towards their pleasure? And once again, this goes back to dialing into a persona. If you're talking to the same types of people all the time, building that network around the same types of people, it's a lot easier to coordinate what we're talking about here with your banner, with your messages, etc. How are you going to help them solve their problems? How are you going to help them get more prospects, recruit more team members, close more deals? Whatever your message is to your persona, to your audience, the most valuable real estate that you have is your banner. Make sure that you use it and use it effectively. And then the summary. So the summary in the summary section, it's going to tell your story. but you got to make it relatable to your prospect's pain and struggles. Remember, if you have the persona and you have the banner built, the summary is just a continuation. Let your prospect know that you've been through what they're going through and you found a solution or answer to the problem that you want to share with them. Use, the emotionals, feel, felt, found method of communicating your story. I know how you feel, felt the same way, and what I found was, or when I found this system or this solution. Use emojis to bring some life and color to your copy and make certain things stand out. Remember, just type. People get lost. Separate it with some emojis, some colors, make stuff stand out. And then add videos or images to every section possible. Remember, you want to use that real estate and, fill it up with appropriate things that are, valuable to you in your business models. There's nothing that moves a prospect from cold to warm to hot without ever speaking to them like a video. When people can see and hear you, once again, these are personal videos, they feel like they know you. Video helps create the know, like, and trust factor, which is very important for people in our business, because if you can build the rapport, trust, and credibility, now you can get them talking. Once they start to talk, that that information uncovers problems that you have solutions and action steps for. So this is very, very important. Images are another way to add color, create interest, draw attention. Remember, be visual and then back it up with the words. And then endorse your connection for skills. One of the way I endorse people for skills is after I've had a business call, an intro call, some type of interaction with them, I'll go in and endorse them for the skills. When you endorse your connections, LinkedIn automatically sends them a message letting them know that you've endorsed them. This puts them at the top of your mind for the connection. Remember, it's all about, building and engaging that audience. I also follow up with another message letting them know I endorse them. In that message, I can give them a link to free gifts, webinars, whatever it is that we're trying to get them to take action on. And then remember, don't just lead somebody to nowhere. Have a call to action in every section. In every section, invite your prospect to register for a free webinar, download a free guide, get more information about a product or service, watch a video, complete a service. Like I said, don't just lead them and then abandon them. And then connect with influencers in your industry, then connect with their connections. If you want to know a good way to get to the people that you want to get to, it's through the influencers. You can see the connections of anyone who is your connection. Also, as you're looking at influencers' posts, you can see the engagement they're getting. You can go right down to the comments. If you like a comment, just click on it, connect with that person, say, hey, I saw your comment, appreciated your engagement on so-and-so's post. This is how you're going to build the audience around the people that you want. And then join groups. We talked about groups maybe aren't as active as they once were, but join the groups that are related to your industry. Join also groups that are related to your company's products. Post in the groups maybe once or twice a week, comment on the post in groups. Remember, if the groups aren't getting the same type of traffic and activity they once were, then your place inside that group can be better seen and better heard due to the lack of other activity. And then get creative and think outside the box. If this is going to be a marketing and business asset for you, just because it says so doesn't mean it must be so. When you're creating and editing various sections of your profile, just because like the field name in LinkedIn might be title, doesn't mean you have to put your job title there. Get creative in what you do. Make your profile stand out against other people. And then we talked about this earlier. The velocity of the engagement on your post is very important for the algorithm. So, whether we like, celebrate, love, we're insightful or curious about a post, if you want people interacting with your post, learn to interact with their post. Once again, it's not just all about you. This is about building relationships. And once again, showing interest in other people and their post to gain interest in what you do in your post. The engagement is any measurable interaction when your post has been created, such as like comments, likes, and clicks. And you guys can see whether it's clicks, shares, likes, comments, follows, impressions, total engagement down there. Really what you want to understand is that what you're posting is relevant, it's valuable, people want to see it, and you just get better and better and better at what you do and your post. And over time, just start to put out some good things that get a lot of interaction. And then from there, you'll see personally from the posts that are working and the posts that are not working, you'll learn from both. What's working, what's not working. So going forward, you know how to organize yourself more efficiently. Content that works on LinkedIn. People want to know you. Remember, they want to buy and do business with people they like and trust. Your passions, your sense of humor, what makes you someone worth paying attention to. You have valuable stories to share. You know things, which is why you're doing the work that you're doing. Sharing your knowledge, your expertise, and experience on LinkedIn can help other people achieve their dreams. So once again, if you're out there trying to help people and you're driven by the mission of what you're doing, that just extends over into social media platforms like LinkedIn. Once again, get personal. The stuff that might feel a little bit uncomfortable will be the valuable stuff. People want to get to know you. And then once again, commit to both hosting and promoting your LinkedIn content. Treat LinkedIn as a main and unique platform. So once again, if you take your LinkedIn status update and you cross promote or cross market it on other channels, LinkedIn will love that. The key is getting the URL in front of people right away to drive that quick engagement and velocity, and then tell the LinkedIn algorithm your update is worthy of more eyeballs. So once again, more people seeing it, more people reacting to it, the velocity of that is a great benefit on the algorithm. So they're not going to give you content visibility if you're promoting something else or other networks. You need to understand that. You need to build trust within the algorithm by creating content specifically for LinkedIn. It takes time and repetition before you can do so. So make sure you're staying inside the platform as much as possible. And then as you're creating content on LinkedIn, use hooks and stories in your post. An engaging hook is very, very critical to stop people from scrolling. Just like when you're sending out emails, if you don't have a decent and catching email subject line, it doesn't matter what the rest of the email body says if nobody opens it. Same thing here. You have to have the engaging hook. On LinkedIn, you get 2 sentences to set the hook. A good hook will get that critical initial engagement needed to set your content viral. So space out your text, continue reading more. Make people click, questions, asking for advice, stating a point of view, leading off with stats, success stories, small victories, 2 lines, get creative, make sure it's interesting, and make sure that's to the point where people are actually clicking to see the rest of the post. And these are some things that work on platforms like LinkedIn: the relatable story, the lesson learned, the thought provoker, the open-ended question, personal moment, the controversial point of view, the giveaway, the ego bait, the hack. We're going to put some stuff in the Facebook group about each one of these, give you guys examples. But like on things like the controversial point of view, you need to understand if you're going to be out there giving that point of view, you're going to get some kind of clapback and people are going to be stating their points of view. So you need to understand what you're posting and what to expect in terms of the engagement. A lot of the other stuff is great stuff to post. Just understand what you're posting, why you're posting it, and what you're expecting out of the post. So one of the things that you can do, and you want to switch this up, some helpful tips, write text-only posts on LinkedIn. Use emojis in your post. Make it creative, colorful, standing out. Stop people from scrolling. Like your own LinkedIn post, especially if it's been out there for a while, got a lot of engagement. A couple weeks from now, do something to send it back through. Share and embed your own LinkedIn post. Comment on other people's posts. Remember, it's not just about you. Create relationships, meaningful relationships, and then watch what happens for your business. And then use LinkedIn native videos. So once again, if I'm posting something and they have to go to YouTube to see the video versus I've got the video embedded inside the LinkedIn post, LinkedIn obviously is going to like the one where they don't have to go to YouTube to finish, getting through the post. And then tip number 7, encourage engagement in the first hour. If you want somebody to do something, ask for it. I know that seems kind of common, but it works. On Twitter, it's remarkable that, if people ask for something to be retweeted, how many people actually retweet it. So ask people for what you want. Don't post too much. And remember, post a few times a week. Make sure it's meaningful, valuable. And then include no more than 3 hashtags per post. And this is important. Don't hashtag it, continuous, like 18, 19, 20 hashtags. Algorithm's not going to like that. and then tag people only sparingly. And do this. When I see that I was tagged with 50 other people on LinkedIn, I immediately go there and see what it is. And I'm kind of annoyed. So tag people only sparingly. And then tip number 11 is when you're looking at your LinkedIn profile. Now, if you've got little to no connections, don't do this yet. But when you get over 500 or 1,000 connections, you can use the follow first strategy. And that's in the back end profile. And basically what happens is when people land on your profile, they're prompted to follow you first before they connect with you. If you are wondering like what is on the minds of other people and what are good topics to talk about on a platform like LinkedIn, go to stuff like Reddit and Current, see what people are asking, see what most of the active posts are asking and communicating about, and then take that over, same type of information over into LinkedIn. Publish longer LinkedIn posts to activate the see more feature. And then if you're going to make what's called a carousel, if you've gone to a convention or something, you can post 6 photos at once. You can also take PDFs and share those as well. So once again, get creative. Don't do the same thing over and over again. And then that seems to work the best. And then once again, play to the LinkedIn algorithm. Best time to post on LinkedIn, even though it's not a one size fits all, marketers have found success on LinkedIn by posting Tuesday through Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, typically between the hours of 8 a.m. and 2 p.m., depending on your time zone. The absolute worst time where you're going to get little to no visibility is the weekends or outside of business hours. So think about when you're posting on LinkedIn, that meat of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then typically during some of the early to morning hours to the early afternoon hours of the business day. LinkedIn, once again, we talked about this before, guys, is dying to get you involved right now. You might think that these tactics are only generating fluff, like the engagement and awareness, but these are critical parts of the buying process, getting to know you, getting to know what you're all about, what you do, who you are, why you do it, how you do it, etc. People don't do business with companies they don't know. With all the noise on the web now, it's harder and harder to break through without paying for it. And that was the goal of this episode today, is to help you understand that you have an organic opportunity on LinkedIn, but it's not going to last forever. And use this as an opportunity to create value in your market and spread your reach. While it may not result immediately in direct sales, it will help you in your overall marketing efforts. LinkedIn's algorithm is pretty smart. If you target digital marketers, then just say, hey, digital marketers, look at this tip. If you are, targeting insurance agents, doctors, dentists, whatever it is, speak it, say it from the very start. If you call out who you're trying to reach, LinkedIn, the algorithm will actually see this and they'll boost your post to those people. You can use certain keywords within the post, and then you can use hashtags. You don't need to have a big following to get a big following. That's one of the key advantages of LinkedIn. And once again, if you are involved with a team, if you have a group of people, help each other out on LinkedIn. And what you can do is, you can create teammates. And if you guys work at the same place or members of the same, organization, whatever it might be, you can create teammates. And then when teammates post, you're going to get an alert. Or you can create LinkedIn activity engagement messages where there's a group of you guys in the messages. When somebody posts, they put their link on there. There's all sorts of different ways before you get to the level of engagement that you want to get to that engagement. So you want to use all opportunities and roadways, including if you got a group of people and you guys are all working together, help each other out on LinkedIn. Remember, it's a huge organic potential. It's the best in terms of generating warm leads, meaningful connections, and just engagement. Don't just connect with random people. It's going to drag down your engagement rate, and it's going to confuse the algorithm. Use LinkedIn to search for your true audience, and then use certain keywords or hashtags to call out the people that you want to reach. LinkedIn, once again, will boost your post to those people if you let the algorithm know who you're trying to reach. Then always send a connection request with a personalized message about why you would like to connect. And then once again, focus on video content. Create a mix of pre-recorded and live video that will be relevant to your audience. And then connect with your audience through personal stories. Once again, people want to buy and do business with people they know, like, and trust. So that rapport, trust, and credibility, you can get that done through telling personal stories, struggles, achievements, whatever it might be, and use the first and the second lines of your post to write that really engaging hook that's going to, have people click to read the rest of the post. Always interact with engagement. If somebody's taking time to engage with your post, don't just kill the conversation by saying, hey, great point, thank you for commenting. Keep it going. And then use curated content to keep your audience engaged. Ask for their opinion. Remember, people love to give their opinions. Ask for them. And then prioritize quality over quantity. You don't need to post too much on LinkedIn, but it needs to be high quality, meaningful, intentional, and strategic. Don't focus solely on creating content. You need to focus on promotion to get good results. So that's LinkedIn, as from like a beginner to an intermediate viewpoint. And once again, the reason that we're concentrated on LinkedIn today is because if you concentrate on LinkedIn, once again, time, energy, resources, you're going to find that this social media platform for financial services business can be a huge marketing asset and be a huge source for things like SEO content, and just all around being found. Agency in motion, building, operating, and managing agencies in the 21st century.